Yo, in this video I'm gonna be looking at the PlayStation 5 review. Kontaku's PlayStation 5 review. It's probably one of the a really bad reviews. Like, if you haven't seen it already, which you probably have, it's basically just a review about the PS5, right? You know, the usual, what you need to know about the PS5. But the thing is, there's one thing wrong with it, and I'll get into that in just 1 second, right? But I'm gonna just show you the first bit here. I'm sitting at my desk, staring at the PS5 living room, my media stand, entertainment center. It's a little too graduous for the small piece of targeted furniture that holds all my gaming stuff. I'm wondering, how the hell am I gonna review this thing? How would my boss, whose various PS4 reviews I've skimmed over several times so as to glean some insight to what I should cover, review this thing? How can anyone at this very moment in time review this thing? Well, first and foremost, you can, talk about how the console looks, what's inside it, the features, the controller, the games, backwards capability, from PS4 to PS5, what games are there, there's a lot of things you can talk about in the situation, but that's not why, but honestly, it's not why I'm gonna talk about this, not because he doesn't know what to write and how to review the thing. It's because of this tiny little, what do I say? Tiny little problem here that that shouldn't be in a PS5 review. That no matter how the view is, it shouldn't be in a PS5 review. But does it really matter? This review has spent 3,000 words talking about the PS5, which is the most I've written about anything. It's a good video console as there has ever been. The combination of ultra high definition video, increased frame rates, high-end graphics techniques like ray tracing and lightning fast SSD make it feel like a real deal next gen successor to the PlayStation 4. Like you saw, I'd read the whole review, but it's 3,000 words. I'd be here for at least almost an hour just reading this whole thing. So if you want to read for yourself, give me a link in the description. But continuing, and if you're not ready to give up on the previous console, the PS5 library runs a vast majority of the PlayStation 4 library, with many of those games receiving upgrades to fidelity, frame rate, and loading times. Right? That's it. You could have left at that and be like, thanks for reading. The console's good. You should get it. The pricing, whichever one you want. Obviously, there's a digital version, there's the full version. You can just leave it at that. Just, you talked about the frame rates, how it's better in every way. Now this is where he just didn't have to write this. This is where he just comes in and talks about stuff that people are getting the PlayStation 5 for, to escape from this stuff and just to relax and chill. Now, okay, I'm just gonna start reading it and you'll see for yourself. But I'm remiss to ignore all the reason not to be excited for the PlayStation 5. You are still reeling under the weight of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, right, basically, he's just telling you, alright, so PS5 is coming out. It's been 8 years, almost 8 years since the PS4 came out. And everyone was excited, everyone was hyped. But just because the PS5 is coming out, you shouldn't be excited. You should be depressed, you should be in your bed crying. Stop. Just because there's a COVID-19 pandemic going on. Yes, that may be going on, and there is. I've heard some good news about vaccine coming out. It's not 100% confirmed, but so far it's going pretty well, and that's great news because so far in a year it just hasn't been good at all. But this is not what I'm on about, right? I'm on about how the fact that everyone's here just trying to look at the PS5, trying to get some reviews, just to see, should I get the PS5 or not? Should I just upgrade my PC, or get a PC, or upgrade my current PC if you do have one, or again, Xbox Series X? You know what I'm saying? Or is PlayStation 5 really worth it? That's what people are here coming to, not to read this fucking guy's shit about, well, I shouldn't be signed for the PS5 because the pandemic and stuff like that. It's just what? Okay, let's say the PS6 comes out, right? In God knows how long, almost 10 years, right? Again. And some guy writes a review. Everything's back to normal. There's no COVID-19 anymore. Everything's back to normal, right? Of course, there's still war. And he goes on, alright, PS6 is coming out. I hope you all are excited. But this is why you shouldn't be excited. People are still dying every day. Don't be excited. Don't get it? Well, get it, but don't be excited for it at all. It's bit. It's people come here to read a review about the PlayStation, not to fucking read about the shit that they already know about and they really just don't want to know about. Like they already know about it, and they've had it pushed in their face over 1,000 times. Just, oh yeah, the COVID-19 pandemic, and they come here to really review about the whole thing, and just to, again, even in a review about a concept they're excited for, it still tells you don't be excited about it, because there's the coronavirus going around, isn't there? I'm just gonna keep reading. There are more Americans out of work right now than at any point in the country's history. No relief in sight. Our healthcare system is an inherently evil institution that forces people to ration life-saving medications like insulin and choose suicide over suffering with untreated mental illness. Now, I'm curious, what does this have to do with the PlayStation 5? I'm just wondering, what does it have to do with the PlayStation 5? Does it have to do a single thing? No, it doesn't. So, if you want to talk about this, go to an area where you could talk about this. A page where it talks about coronas and the problems in the world, not a fucking PlayStation 5 review where people come and to read and just to be excited and to escape from the current real world things and just forget. You get what I mean? Nobody comes here to, oh yeah, I forgot that all this was going on. Time to go back to being depressed and not being excited for anything. People come here because they're excited, they can't wait, they just want to read the thing to make sure they're 100% sure that they want to get it, not this shit. But I'm gonna keep reading. As I'm writing this, it looks very likely that Joe Biden will be the next president. But it's clear that the worst people aren't going away just because a new old white man is sitting behind a resolute desk. Well, at least not this old white man. Come on, we all know who you're pointing towards, right? Our government is fundamentally broken in a way that necessitates radical changes rather than incremental electoralism. Is that right? You know what I'm saying? The harsh truth is that, for the reason listed above and more, a lot of people simply won't be able to buy a PlayStation 5 regardless of supply. Or if they can, concerns over increasing austerity in the United States and the growing threat of widespread political violence suspend any enthusiasm about the cost of SSD or how ray tracing makes reflection more realistic. That's not to say you can't be excited for those things. I certainly am, on some level. But there's an irrefutable level of privilege attached to the ability to simply tune out the world as it burns around you. But that's the point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, the world, there's not much I could do. Like, what can I do? What do you think I could do? Boy, I think I could just go, I think I could just look in the mirror and be like, alright, time to come up with the vaccine. If I could do that, I'd do it. I'd do it. But I can't come with a vaccine. I'm just some fucking normal guy in this fucking room doing junk shit. Alright? I can't fucking make a vaccine. People just wanna fucking zone out, forget, and chill. Alright? They wanna be constantly 24/7 thinking about this shit. Even in their dreams thinking about this shit. Like, they shouldn't have to think. And not only that, yes, some people might not be able to buy a PlayStation 5 because of the, stuff, right? But because of the reason that he said above. But listen. This is supposed to be a PlayStation 5 review. This is, you come here, you talk about the PlayStation 5, you give your opinion, you give what you think about it, and you give if it's worth it or not. And then you leave it at that. This is not the place to talk about that type of stuff. There's places for that. And on a PlayStation 5 review, it's definitely not. And tell people just don't be excited just because, simply put, the PlayStation, just because the coronavirus going on. Just don't be excited. Keep being depressed, like, just because of that. Like, come on, man. Like, people want to be excited. People are excited just to come along and say, don't be excited because stuff's still going on in the world. Like, stuff will always go on in the world. Like, no matter what, this violence and other type of diseases and stuff has always been going on in the world forever, for as long as ever, right? It never go away. Even after coronavirus, even after the riots and stuff like that, stuff was still bad, violence, stuff like that, and diseases will still be going on in the world. It doesn't change a thing. But you don't see other people going on, rambling on. You don't see other reviews rambling on, oh well, you shouldn't be excited for the PlayStation 5 because the coronavirus and, stuff like that. It's just, oh man. Like you should just left that, like, after loading times. After you said loading time, you should just left it that. Just erased all that and just left and went on your way. If you did that, everyone would be like, alright, just normal review, let's just leave it at that. But no, you just have to go on and fucking ramble on and remind everyone about the fucking shitty shit that's going on right now. Just fucking have to. If they want to read about that shit, they go to a place where they can read about that shit. But PlayStation 5 is sure not a fucking place to talk about that. I won't deny that video games can be an escape. It feels great to lose yourself in a fictional world where you can fix everything. Some of us see a strength or personality trait in video game characters that we wish we saw in ourselves. As much as it sucks for real world problems to intrude on that space, I found it increasingly difficult to focus on video games and admit our current situation. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Even after this whole coronavirus thing goes on, it goes away. Even after this whole, riot whatnot, it doesn't matter. It won't change the fact that violence will still be going on. After, it's just, he thinks this right here is he's saying, oh, the world was fully 100% peaceful. Everything was perfect. Then the coronavirus came along, and suddenly out of nowhere, people are dying. There's violence everywhere. It's like what? There was always violence in this world. Before the coronavirus, it will still be after. It does not matter. Many nights, it's all I can do to play a couple runs of Spelunky before collapsing into bed for a few hours and doom scrolling and restless sleep. I know I'm not alone in that feeling. We are collectively tired, and for a good reason. Not everyone, not every single person, after they fucking enjoy playing a game, goes to bed and just stays awake with their eyes wide open, looking at the ceiling and looking at the fucking stars and counting sheep, and counting sheep and thinking about, oh, I wonder, this whole coronavirus thing seemed pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Come on. Sony and Microsoft chose a hell of a time to release their next generation video game console. I think PlayStation 5 is a great machine, but it's tough to recommend when folks are literally fighting for their lives while residing in the richest country in the world. I was very lucky to receive PlayStation 5 for the purposes of this review, despite the fact that I'm comfortable enough to have bought one on my own. If you're in the same boat, I encourage you to grab the console and see what's all about for yourself. If you aren't, don't feel like the PlayStation will change your life. The video game console is not going anywhere. I'm looking forward to a time where we can all chat about next generation gaming on equal footing without a dozen daily crises looming over our heads. Until then, let's focus on what's truly important, even if that means dipping out of the next gen hype machine for a bit. Well, no, because people are hyped. Because of the hype, people are forgetting about this shit. They're not forgetting, they still know, but because of their hype for it, they can for once just their stress can just kind of go away even for those little moments. They could just kind of relax, right? And like you said, on equal footing without a dozen daily crises looming over our heads, that's never gonna happen. That's never going to happen. It's even after the coronavirus thing gonna go, there's still gonna be a dozen crises in the world. It does not matter. Alright? It's like the coronavirus just comes along and then suddenly, violence comes out of nowhere. Oh, the world seems to be ending. Suddenly the world seems to be a violent place. It always was. It always was, and most likely always will be. No matter what you say. Alright? But other than that, if people write a PlayStation review, what you do is you keep it at that. You talk about the console, the controller, the games, the features, the FPS, the quality, the resolution, the console itself, in detail how it looks, whatever, the pricing, whatever, and if it's worth it, obviously. Not the pandemic or the violence in the world that's always been there, but he's acting like, it just came out of nowhere. You just talk about the console. You should just left after he said and loading times. You didn't have to write all that shit. You should just left it there and kept going. But no, you just had to include this shit, seriously. Honestly, I feel like if anyone writes this review and this kind of matter and just saw this, but does it really matter? They probably went from, I'm excited, this sounds so good, I can't wait, and then just saw that, but I'd be remiss to ignore all the reasons, and it just ruins their mood for the excitement. Adding this shit, people are excited, oh man, I can't wait to read the reviews, and just to see this fucking guy come along and be like, don't be excited, why are you getting excited? But they just want to relax and just enjoy gaming, it's always been, But yeah, other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.